Okay, so I've just been harvesting these soup peas. As you can see, they're starting to die off now. They're going yellow. I'm actually going to pull up the plants, I think, and dry off the rest. I've been picking all the dry pods. You can see how many I've got in there to shell out. This is off 64 plants. So it's not, I didn't sow them that thickly. They're in a little row down the middle of a 30-inch bed. But you can see how high they got to 6 foot. I mean, they have dropped off a bit now, they start to die off. They produce really heavily. They're beautiful. They look like sweet peas for a long while. I've been really pleased with them. So I'm not sure what they're going to taste like. The peas themselves look gorgeous. I sowed them at the end of February. You can see how beautiful the peas are. So apparently round ones are for soup, and then wrinkled ones are more for eating fresh. So these ones called Latvian soup peas from the Real Seed Company, and they've been really productive. Just tucked down here, I've not touched them until now, so I've been quite pleased. There's a couple of nettles in there I need to take out. You see my strip of comfrey growing on the next bed alongside it. So that's a permanent bed there that grows along. I might as well show the rest of the garden while I'm at it. Down here I've got some raised beds. So I've got my cannabis looking Peruvian black mint, which is beautiful. I've got some little gem lettuces, some Korean mint, some Aztec broccoli, and some green wave mustard, and some parsley root down there. It's good to get those back into production really, and just try and keep on top of the nettles. Here I had my petit pot peas, which I took out, and I got a jam jar full of seed pea to use next year. I need so much heavier, but I didn't have enough seed, so I'm hoping next year I should be able to get a decent crop off those. These French beans are a yellow French bean, again from the Real Seed Company. I did harvest these today. I'm sure I should be able to find one. There's a yellow one, and they look a little anemic actually. I think rather than yellow, they do taste amazing, but I think people might be put off by the colour of them. These are absolutely superb. So far I've had about 1.5 kilos off here, if not a bit more, maybe 2 kilos. I've been weighing it, so that's been really good. Red cabbages are coming on, as are the koi rabbi, so I've been harvesting those. They've been great. These are the beetroot that followed the potatoes, so you can see. I can take this net off actually. I only have the net on just while it's young. You can see how big these are. This is a second crop in this bed, and if I harvest them as baby beets, I'd say I could harvest them as baby beets now, but I'll let them mature further than that. And but I still might get a third crop, if not a green manure down just before winter, which might be quite good. I've got another lot of these yellow French beans coming on in this bed here, so I'm hoping when that one finishes another one to start. I did put some more. I've got another one over there, and I've got some in some root trainers, but the root trainers, the seed didn't germinate very well. It's given to me, so unfortunately I'm not sure what I'm gonna maybe sow some more. I've got some seed in the shed. So. And these cut flowers have been brilliant. So I did 4 bunches this week for the nursery workers for my daughter, and they turned out really nice. I was really pleased with them. I looked quite good coming in with 4 bunches of flowers. And this is my bed here for seed. So this is all kind of a bit messy. I need to get some stands in to hold this lettuce up, but it's all just starting to flower. The white seed Samara, rat-tail radish. I think it looks gorgeous actually. Some lovely flowers coming on that, and the coriander, which, to be honest with you, could probably be cut and left to dry now. Then I've got a purple sprouting. It's about 1 foot high. Again, a second crop following potatoes. Did amend the soil quite heavily. Another load of compost, rotted manure. Tomatoes, which I need to prune. New Zealand yams. Golden beets. They've not grown as strong as the Dechoga ones, it must be said. And the weed pressure, I think, is probably a little bit higher in this bed. As you can see, it's really weedy, but I'll probably harvest the rest of those in the next couple of weeks and then plastic it over or get a green manure in, even better. Onions, I planted these really late, and there's 2 minds as to whether to bother or not really, but they're not looking like they're dying off. They're looking like they're growing really strongly. So I'm quite pleased with how they're going. I think we might get a reasonable crop of these. They're only shallotty type onions anyway. I've got another bed of kind of frilly lettuce in there. It's it seems brilliant, that stuff. It does grow really strongly, and so it's 30 or so lettuces in there. I was going to try with a bit closer spacing, but I decided to use the same plastic. But they seem to be fine. I've not had to net them. The pigeons have left them well alone. Red cabbages, these have been awesome. Absolutely, like a really tight packed red cabbage, weighing about 1.2, 1.5 kilos each one. So they've been awesome. I did chaga beets, so I'm getting towards the end of those now. I might rip out the rest of them. This is some red elephant carrots. As you can see, really patchy germination. It's seed from the Heritage Seed Library, so I don't know whether it wasn't stored very well or wasn't cleaned. I've got some. We'll just have to see how it does really, and I'll leave it and harvest a lot, pick out the best roots, and then try and plant them for next year. Hopefully I have 20 good roots. I might sow the spaces where there isn't any now with some more seed. I've got some left. It wasn't clean seed, so I couldn't even use my seeder, which was not annoying, but just not as convenient. Red Russian Kale. I'm not a kale fan, but I've been selling this at playgroup and stuff. People go mad for it. They really do like it. And I've heard everyone say it's really nice. But again, I've not actually eaten that myself. Cattle food. Carrots. So I think next year I did these, the round Paris market carrots, which are great, but not so great for preparing for meals. So great was an early carrot. So this bed was probably enough for us. I've now got this other bed that I've got to go on to, and I'm kind of wishing they were longer, kind of Nance type carrots. So a little, yeah, next year I'll definitely change it a little bit. I've got another bed of carrots in there. That's giant red, I think that one's called. And again, giant red in that one. So I've got a couple of beds of carrots, late planting, but they should come on fine. Some celeriac, and then I've got these squashes. There's mixed squashes in here. I've got the Burpees yellow zucchini. Have been absolutely brilliant. I've had loads of those already. They're already kind of almost getting filled up with courgettes. And now I've got patty pan ones either end, and they've taken a bit longer to come into fruit. So it's worth bearing in mind. I think next year I'll probably have a bed of the yellow ones maybe, and then some patty pan ones separate. And further on up I've got my leeks. Greenhouses with tomatoes and stuff in are doing well, but nothing looking ripe yet, which is a bit annoying. So, I mean, it won't be long. And then we'll be inundated with tomatoes, because I've got about 70 plants in there and then a couple of outside beds. I've got, I need to build some trellising in there this weekend for my cucumbers. We've been having loads of Syrian cucumbers, which have been really tasty. Quite short, but they've still been really, really nice. And then the Monge 2 peas, which were gorgeous. And I should have sowed these thicker as well, I think. Or at least sowed another bed of them. But I'm leaving these to go for seed for next year. So, unfortunately, when you leave stuff into the seed, you have to just leave it a bit longer. And then, in my composting area, you can see the size of this. There's 2 squashes there, Oregon Homestead. They've gone absolutely berserk. And the same over here, actually, in the second garden. You notice there's no cockerels walking around. I've had a bit of a cull, and I've thinned the hens as well. I've got some new hens coming, and I wanted to kind of be a bit more selective. So I've had white beetroot out of here. They've been really good sized. I've only had them mixed at the moment. I need to roast them to kind of do a taste test against them. I've got my runner beans coming on up. Then over here, this is quite cool. My quinoa and other kind of unusual stuff over in this garden. Need to trim the grass around here. Just the nettles, not ideal for wearing shorts. So you can see, actually, my globe artichokes, they're coming on brilliantly, and they're through plastic rather than membrane. And then I've got my yacon, which is growing nicely, looking a little bit like they need some water, but they just have to survive on the rain. Skirret, so I've got a whole double bed of skirret in. New Zealand yams, some tomatillos at the end. That's one lot of winter squash there. I said summer squash on my last video, it's winter squash. And the same again, this is winter squash, all grown through plastic, only been watered when I put it in, so I'm really pleased with that. French beans down there. Brussels sprouts, they're doing amazingly. The net is keeping the butterflies away at the moment. And then look at this, quinoa. This is just awesome. I'm 6 foot tall, that's taller than me, so I'm really pleased with that. Again, not watered it since I put it in, so I think I've watered it once, and that's it. Now I've got one other garden bed, which I don't think I've put on a video yet. I don't break my leg. Which is over in the front garden. I've got another chicken pen I'm making there. I am going to do a video on them. I just haven't decided what I'm going to call them yet. And it is a perfect example of my garden. It's definitely not beautiful, but produces beautiful things. So this is my front garden. I put in these 2 raised beds a while ago. I'm going to do a video on how we did that, and they're producing straight away. So on the back there, I've got some hopefully fast cropping sweet corn, which struggle to germinate, struggle to grow, but we'll see how it goes. I know I've got some tomatoes here, which I'm 2 trussing, so I'm just going to let them set 2 trusses, and I keep chopping off the tops then. So it's a little bit of extra effort, but the idea is I'll get them out sooner, and because they're outside, they should ripen quicker. So, because they're putting all their effort into just 2 trusses of fruit rather than keep producing new trusses. So that's the idea. Anyway, that's a quick update on the garden. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please click subscribe, give me the thumbs up, pop over to the blog and let me know what you think.